It's got some countdown.
It's got a little countdown.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Aspect Ratios and the Weather.
What?
Huh?
I like that I can see Rob's facial expressions now when he's giving you the side eye.
It's just like an hour of him just rolling his eyes.
What?
All right, so let's explain to the listener here. So we finally got the video portion working for us. I don't know if this is going to end up published anywhere, but we can see each other now, which is nice. Turns out Steve just needed a different computer. That seemed to solve the issue. But yeah, now I can see you guys. You guys can see me. It's very cool. Hopefully we could publish this somewhere. I don't know. I think Anchor has video publishing. We'll find out.
Oh, you can't publish just from a Zencaster website?
Well, that's not where our podcast is hosted. You know, I guess we could. It could be a separate link, but I'd like to kind of keep it on the same thing. But I don't know. Spotify. So Anchor, I think Spotify bought Anchor or vice versa. I think Spotify bought Anchor, and I'm assuming that Joe Rogan still does video, but I don't know if it's only Joe Rogan or if he just puts it on YouTube or how he does it.
Yeah, YouTube is what I've been seeing. That's how I watched him. Okay. But ever since he went to Spotify, I haven't listened. Even though it's free, I just have to go there. I just listen on other. I don't listen on Spotify.
You can't get him on Apple Podcasts anymore.
I thought it was Spotify. Yeah, it was Spotify exclusive. But I thought you could go there for free. You just had to go to Spotify.
Right. You got to run their app.
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah, you could probably do it with like ads or something. They probably have free Spotify still. So
why listen?
I've been paying for Spotify forever, so I don't mind.
Yeah. Why listen to Joe Rogan when I got my own podcast? I don't need to listen.
There you go.
You don't need that no more.
You don't have to have that pseudo intellectual nonsense. What if we're in like a simulation, man? And then if while we're in there, we do a lot of DMT. And then we just we all do a bunch of MMA fighting with it. Wouldn't that's pretty much it. And then we just live on elk meat. That's pretty much Joe Rogan's podcast. Just do the whole thing.
Like even if he discovers like the secret to the universe, we all still have to go to work the next day.
Right. It changes nothing. Right. It's all theoretical anyway. It's just people, and I'm not dissing like some, he has like some actual experts on there, obviously. Yeah. And I do listen when he has like Bill Burr or Hannibal Buress or comedians on there that I like. That's the only shit I listen to though. But when he gets like these theoretical scientists, I'm just like, oh, I don't fucking care.
I like that. I like it when they have the scientists on. I love that shit.
I'm going to be dead in 40 years. I don't fucking care. Like, no matter what happens, I'll be dead in 40 years. I don't fucking care. I just don't care. So unless you have some news for me in the next 40 years, I don't fucking care. Right. I don't care. Like, well, the planet Earth is going to burn up in 300,000 years. Like, oh, I don't fucking care. I don't care.
It's going to burn up.
Nobody I know.
Sooner than that.
Affects no one I know.
This is crazy. I can't. I'm getting your expressions. This is nice. Seeing your.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
So you should have made Steve. You should have made Steve do one of his early intros to the podcast and watch how his face moves.
when he goes into his
guys,
weird game show.
let's all get going. His eyes get real big.
I know the face he makes. I've known Steve long enough to know exactly what he's doing, where he's just like gets focused. He's like, welcome to the podcast. It's just like all of a sudden all the skin on his forehead just goes back 3 inches. It's like,
he lost all his wrinkles.
I was like
down.
I was nervous when we first started doing it. Now I'm just talking to my friends, my brother and my friend.
Yeah, that's all this is. All right, let me ask you now. You guys are like super pixelated. Am I like real pixelated on your end?
No.
Yeah, you guys look like a fucking Sega CD FMV video game right now.
Nice.
Well, why is that?
Must that be your crappy internet.
Does that mean my internet is better than Shawn's?
No.
Oh, no, because that means your upload sucks. My upload is pushing out a higher signal, so you're receiving a better signal.
Ooh.
It means your upload isn't great. It's not real choppy. I can still see you guys. It's way better than not being able to see you guys. So,
but I didn't plug in the Ethernet to this computer.
It's me, Mario.
So that might help.
Well, of course, it would help. I'm on Wi-Fi though, so I can't get too mad. But my router is right there, and I have like ridiculous speeds. I'm gonna send you a picture of what you guys look like, just so you know.
You have like super router.
So
yeah, he's got some crazy freaking internet nobody's ever heard of.
no, it's not that good.
Meanwhile, I'm still waiting for AT&T to bring fiber to my house.
Steve just looks like he's got diabetes or something now.
Well, that's probably
he's lost all definition in his face.
That could be true. I got the diabetes. Hey, I took your advice last week when you said, sit down and just start reading one comic a day,
Oh, yeah?
One of the older ones. So I started with the Golden Age Flash because I saw it on the DC app, the Universe app or whatever. So I read it and I went to go to the next issue and it's not available. I was like, what the fuck? You have one fucking, the first issue and that's it? So I go online. I was like, all right, I'll just buy the compendium or whatever, the Golden Age compendium or whatever. I go online. The book is like $200.
Holy shnikes.
For these.
Why didn't you just get the digital version?
Because they don't have it. I couldn't, there's nowhere to buy it.
Oh, come on. Did you go to Comixology?
Yeah, I went to Amazon. That's Comixology.
No. You go to Comixology. Here we go. I'm going to look it up right now. I should do this on my computer, but I'm used to using my phone.
All I could find was the hard. Gosh. Like, how could they sell it if DC app doesn't have it? How can Amazon have it?
I don't know. Sometimes that's just how it is, though.
I wouldn't think DC would let them do that. So I found a hardback. It was like $200.
It depends on who owns the rights.
I guess.
Well, DC has all their rights as far as I know. But they like...
Yeah, money. So I got one issue in. I was like, all right, let's do this. And then I go to issue 2. It's like, what the fuck? So then I was like, I've already read a lot of the Silver Age Flash, so I just started with the Flash Rebirth. I think it's
okay, there you go.
I don't know. I think it was around like 2012 or something like. I don't remember when it is. But I'm like 15 issues deep into that now.
Nice. So your daily reading's going well?
Dude, I mean, it's everything you could have dreamed of. I'm actually, instead of watching TV, I'm reading a comic.
That's nuts. That's just nuts. It's not the Steve
nuts.
I grew up with. I switched, though. I switched from reading Spider-Man over to reading Venom and Deadpool. So I'm kind of alternating between Venom and Deadpool now. Just because I got bored with the old Spider-Man stuff. The Venom stuff isn't very good either.
You already gave up on the Spider-Man already?
Just for now. Dude, I got ADHD, man. I need, I felt like I got the gist of it after like 6 issues.
It's one issue a day.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm doing. I just moved over to different series to keep to kind of,
Oh, I thought your whole thing was you wanted to finish that.
I did. No, I did. You're right. And I already fucked that up. I'm doing Venom and Deadpool. So like I never finished reading Deadpool's original run, like the 97 run. So I'm like 30 issues deep in that now. And then Venom I just kind of pick up here and there when I want something different from the Deadpool thing. And it doesn't mean I won't go back to Spider-Man. I just wanted something. I don't know. I got nostalgic for like stuff from my childhood or just from when I was younger, basically. Not necessarily my childhood, but I wanted to kind of go through the stuff because even back then I just read whatever I could get a hold of. And I didn't necessarily go to the comic book shop every month, or when I did, it was, I was always cash strapped. So I was like, oh, should I get this or should I get this? You know what I mean? So I would stop reading stories in the middle of an arc because I lost interest. And I was like, well, I'm not going to spend $3 on that because I don't care. But now that it's on Marvel Unlimited, it's like, yeah, I'll read that. It's just there for me to read. So been reading a lot of Venom. Very unimpressed. Great artwork.
And they've had every issue available. You didn't get cut off after the first one.
No, all the Deadpool stuff is there and all the Venom stuff is there. I know that. And the Spider-Man stuff has been there as well. So I don't know if deeper in they're missing issues or not. But yeah, all the early stuff has been there. So
nice. What about you? Dude, I feel like you've been reading comics?
No.
I'm sitting here. I got a Batman shirt on. I got the Batman poster, and I think about that scene in Hot Fuzz when Timothy Dalton is like smiling and there's that picture of himself behind him. You know what I'm talking about? And he's like making the same face. That's what I feel like now. It's just like Batman.
I got my rad shirt on.
I see that.
Yeah, you like that?
That's
I was like, if this
awesome.
if this is going on YouTube, then I gotta represent.
Yeah, Rob's got Mandalorian gear.
Good to go.
You can see your pixelated Neo back there. Neo looks like he's in an NES game on my screen.
Can you see the light shining off my bald head?
He's in an earlier
version
of the Matrix.
What's that?
He's in an earlier version of the Matrix.
He's in the first version of the Matrix, where everything was 2D and side-scrolling. One of the ones that failed for some reason. All right, so everybody watched WandaVision last week?
Yes,
I did.
So spoilers ahead. Dude, I thought this was a brutal episode.
Dude,
this was tearing up, man. That one line, do you know the line I'm talking about?
Yes. What is grief if not love persevering?
Dude. Like that.
I looked at Chris and I was like, God damn. This is the difference between crap characters and awesome character development. You know? It's like I was looking at Chris and I was like, this is so fucking good. And the actors and the actresses, good God, such a good deliverer.
And I think part of the reason too is just Elizabeth Olsen, Paul Bettany have been great as these characters. We've known them for a while. This is the first time we've really spent a lot of time with them. But we had spent 7 episodes with them, I think, prior to this, as well as their interactions in the movies. But that line really landed because we were totally invested in their relationship at this point,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then you can't help but juxtapose that with Justice League, where Lois Lane is like, "You smell good." It's like, what? He just got out of the fucking ground. How does he smell good?
That's exactly what I was thinking, man. I went right to that, like you said, that juxtaposition. I was like, it's night and day. It's night and day, dude.
Yeah, you really get Elizabeth Olsen. She's really good,
dude. I've watched this episode 4 times, and I kept going back to that scene with her and Wanda just sitting next to each other, and
who her and Wanda,
her and Vision. Sorry, sitting on the bed next to each other, and he's just he's there for her, and and he's stalking outside the door, outside the wall. Before that, she's like, come on in, but. Yeah, man, it's just, dude, it was so good. And then once I watched that, I went back and watched Age of Ultron, and then I watched Infinity War, and then I watched Endgame this past weekend. And I got the full effect. Because I watched WandaVision like 4 times this last episode.
Wow.
Dude, it's so good.
I watched it twice because I watched it by myself, and then I watched it with Maggie later. And yeah, it was just, dude, so we learned, that Wanda did not take his body out of the shield or sword lab or whatever, that he is basically just a construct of her powers. He's like a corporeal version of her manifesting him or something.
Yeah.
So, and then of course,
and how badass was that manifestation too, dude, when she just let it go, man. I was like, man, that culmination was
she was feeling grief.
Yeah.
When she, all that red stuff came out of her. You just watched Ultron. You remember when...
when her brother died.
When her brother died, the same thing happened.
That same release. Yeah.
Yeah. But this was much larger.
Yes, for sure.
Well, because that was her brother's death on top of her parents' death, on top of Vision's death. So it was,
Yeah. It was a lot. A lot going on there.
It was a lot.
It's a lot.
Dude,
meanwhile, Zack Snyder's like, how about we kill Superman in the second movie? And no one cared. No one shed a tear. No one gave a shit. No one believed he was dead.
Right.
Like, it was so dumb. So fucking dumb. I just want those movies to be better. I see people online, on Twitter especially, talking about the Snyder Cut, like the fanboys, and they're like, why is somebody always going to bring up Marvel? It's like, because Marvel is the gold standard. That's why they bring a Marvel, because they want things to be that good. It's not necessarily, I don't want it to be the same as Marvel. I want it to be the same quality as Marvel, is what I'm trying to explain. And I'm not saying to mimic them as far as necessarily their tone and their cadence and everything, but more just with the quality of the scripts and the stories and the characters, just higher quality. You can still have a somber tone if that's really what you want, although I still think that's kind of dumb outside of Batman. But then you saw how goofy Wonder Woman 84 was when they leaned into that. It's not about emulating everything Marvel does. It's just about being higher quality, just being a better quality, and not just being like, oh, well, I love these characters, so I love this movie. No, like you can't do that.
I was watching the MCU something on Disney Plus, like a documentary or something, and Kevin Feige was talking about. He's like, why can't we take these just because they're comic characters? Why can't they have great stories? That was what he was saying, and I was like, man, he nailed it.
Well, they already have great stories.
No, I mean, but like, but like the way people looked at them, they're just like, oh, this can't be a good movie because it's just like a superhero movie or whatever.
Right.
But
now you can add depth and all that stuff.
Exactly.
Zack Snyder's trying to do it by like desaturating the colors and, heavy-handed music and everything. Every moment is dramatic. It's like, that's not how you deliver a heavy moment, though. That's when you're struggling to get the audience to feel a heavy moment, but it's not necessarily how you deliver that. You deliver that again, just in that conversation on the bed. There was no, music pounding that in. There was no camera swirling around them as they had that. You know what I mean? The line just landed. It was just a camera. It was a face on camera on both of them, and two actors carried the moment in a bedroom.
Yeah,
that was it. That's it. You don't need all this other shit going on to deliver these moments, like when Superman dies in Batman vs Superman, and it's like, and you're just like, no one believes he's dead. No one believes for a goddamn second he's dead. And secondly, no one fucking cares because this is his second movie.
Yeah,
like he hadn't built the character up enough to give a shit.
Yeah, I agree, man. It was great. Rob, we were right about suspecting the director of Sword. Yeah. He's been trying to get Wanda to bring him back. That was his intention. He was trying to egg her on, trying to get her to use her power to bring him back.
That was pretty effed up.
That was real fucked up.
Dude, if she's got to fight White Vision or whatever the hell his name is, that's messed up. I feel bad.
It is messed up.
I mean, I feel bad for her. She's a fictional character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, this is going to be horrible.
Dude, how haunting was that scene when he's torn apart on those separate tables and Wanda has to look at him like that with his fucking dead eyes and everything? Yeah. That's fucked up. That's the shit that's going through her head, and you can see why it ends up with her creating a hex.
And then he bought her a house.
Yeah. Oh God, that's the whole thing was a fucking tearjerker, man, with a little fucking heart.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that was brutal. Now,
so she's gonna have to encounter this White Vision. My prediction or my hope, and I don't know. Like,
do you know anything about White Vision?
No, I don't. I never read any Vision Scarlet Witch comics.
I didn't know if you might have heard about something. You are the comic guy. We're just
there's far too much material out there for me to know everything. But I'm curious because here's the thing, like, is she going to be able to kind of take her manifestation of Vision and, eventually like put him in a physical, that body is my hope, because if she has to watch Vision die again.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
That's really bad news.
God damn it. If for some reason she becomes the villain, I get it. Because you know what I mean, for like Doctor Strange or whatever,
right?
I'm like,
do you think they'll go?
She needs to be a villain.
Do you think they'll go that route?
I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. I have no idea.
Right, and I like not knowing.
I'll take whatever direction they're going.
Right, exactly.
It's been good.
You want the happy ending. You can't help but want the happy ending for it.
I don't mind a happy ending.
Yeah,
I'm okay. No. But I got a feeling it's not going to end happy.
I don't mind happy endings either. But I also don't mind evil witches. Because I remember, like, I think back to when I watched Buffy, and I loved Willow, you know, and she was a good witch, but there was a season where she turned bad, and I was like, this is fucking way better, you know? So, but I do, just because I'm invested so much in Wanda and Vision, I hope they do, you know, get together happily in the end, but they don't. I don't know, man. I'm with these. Whoever's behind all this is. I'm on board, man. I love this WandaVision show, man.
It definitely picked up from the first 3 episodes, didn't it?
Does that make the first couple episodes easier to swallow?
No desire to watch. Again, I still think that could have been condensed into one episode.
It was a nice,
because that's all set up. It's just all set up. It's like, oh, and that's why she is sentimental about these old sitcoms, because it reminds her of her family. That still could have been one episode. It didn't need to be 3.
You could have hurried it up a little bit. Yeah.
But like I said, they were shorter episodes. They were like 20 minutes long.
They didn't
I will say it showed how good of actors Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany are.
Yeah, dude. Oh my God. Acting was phenomenal.
But I mean, you didn't need the first 3 episodes because, like, there's no characters that are in the Hex that they've really, besides Agatha, obviously, but there's no other characters that you needed to set up so far. You know what I mean?
And that's the thing. They're not developing characters in those episodes. They're establishing this alternate reality she's created. And the whole time, you know, we were just wondering, like, okay, where does this reality take place or whatever? Why? But we didn't care about any of the sitcom storylines, which were fucking stupid. And it was like, that could have been one fucking episode. That could have been a flashback episode. Yeah. They could have started with episode 4 and just inserted the flashbacks.
Is that when the story started coming through episode 4?
Yeah, that's when you finally got Agent Wu.
Outside.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Kat Dennings, whatever her character's name is, Darcy. Like, that's when you started getting that outside involvement. And that's what I want. Like, I didn't need 3 episodes, you know, Dick Van Dyke, Bewitched, whatever. I got it. I got it. Yeah. She set up an idealistic version of reality for herself. It would have taken 5 minutes to establish that. 5 minutes, not 90 minutes. I didn't need 90 minutes of that.
Yeah, they basically just had those other people. They introduced them just so you could see them when she's driving through the town before she creates the Hex. And
it like that. Even that whole scene, like in the first episode, where like her boss is choking, or somebody's choking, or
that was the first
Vision's boss. It's like, okay, yeah, we know something's wrong. We know that because we're in a black and white world in 1950. We knew that before you did this scene, because that's not where she exists. So that's why it frustrated me so badly. It was like somebody was just like, I want to remake 50 sitcoms. And it was like, I'm gonna do it. This is my opportunity. And they just wasted millions of dollars to do that instead of advancing the story. I will never rewatch those first 3 episodes. Never, ever.
Yeah, I agree that it was too long, but the tie-in was really nice, especially when they went back to black and white, you know, that first episode, and they shoot it from, well, you see her in color first, and then the camera goes behind her, and then they shoot like her shoes and her skirt, so you can see she went back to black and white. I thought that was just a great shot of how they did that.
Yeah. And that was great. That was cool.
Yeah. And
it's very well done.
Yeah.
I mean, they've thought about whoever, I don't know who the directors are or producers, but they've definitely put some time into setting everything up, you know. And the
one name I see at the end of every episode is that Matt Shackman is the one name that is on pretty much every episode. So I'm guessing he was creatively involved pretty heavily. But again, it's really good now. Totally, dude. What's her name? Catherine Hahn as Agatha had me cracking up, dude. When she was like mocking her.
She was like, "I'm right." She's like, "He doesn't have to be that loud. We're right here." Remember?
No, she was actually just mocking Wanda's accent. She's like, "Boy, that accent comes and goes." But before that, she was like, rah, 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 rah. Something, whatever Wanda said, and then she imitated it. In like an over the top accent, I was dying. And then that other, like after that scene in the bedroom, you know, with that dialogue, they cut to her and she's like, you know, like just real sarcastic because she doesn't give a shit. And it was just fucking great.
Yeah, dude, how great was the scene where she's in Hydra and you find out that she had powers before, and then the stone just enhanced them, kind of. And then you see,
I don't know what that was all about.
She sees like her, that foreshadowing of herself as Scarlet Witch, and it's like coming out of the freaking clouds with the sun behind her. Oh my god! And then the reflection of that in Wanda's eyes. It's just that was just it was just a great scene, man. I was like, geez. So this last episode, man, I can't fucking wait, man.
Yeah, like 3 days.
So somebody was talking to me at work about this today. Do you think are they going with a second season, or is this just to tie into the movie?
No, I think this is it.
Oh, you think?
Yeah, I think so.
This is a one-time thing.
Yeah.
Now, Falcon and Winter Soldier, they might, something like that, or Loki, they might. It just depends on what route they go movie-wise.
Okay.
Because this is just filling the gap until the movie.
Yeah, it makes sense because there's not much more that can really happen, like besides Wanda just going badass.
What else was I going to ask you guys about? I saw that was a video game trailer. You wouldn't care about that. I thought there was another trailer I saw recently.
Was it another Justice League trailer? Like the 8th
No,
trailer?
I haven't seen anything new on that front. Man, I can't wait to watch that later this month, though.
When does it come out?
I saw
like the 29th.
Somebody was added to Obi-Wan Kenobi's series.
That chick from Game of Thrones.
Yeah. She's good. I like her.
Yeah. She's probably going to be a villain. I would guess.
I don't know.
Shit, I'm losing my headphones.
I don't know. I haven't seen Game of Thrones. Is she a main character?
She comes in way later.
Yeah.
In the series.
So they're so like when is that supposed to be done? Obi-Wan.
They haven't even started filming yet.
Yeah, they're still casting, and because that got pushed back. There wasn't a little bit of news I sent you guys. It wasn't really news, old news about the fact that I didn't know Patty Jenkins. Is that her name? Patty Jenkins. Is that right?
Are you trying to wipe that name from your memory?
No, I tend to say a different, like Patty somebody else, and I don't remember.
Patty Davis.
Confused. Patty Davis, yeah, Ronald Reagan's daughter. And then I think of Patty Schemmel, who was in the band Hole as well. And I get all those names. Anyway, Patty Jenkins was supposed to direct Thor 2. I didn't know who she was at the time. So I probably read that at some point. Didn't know who she was. Didn't care. But Feige had the sense to basically fire her. And, it was the stuff about, her story didn't gel, this and that and the other. I think, that's all just people being nice in Hollywood. I think her story just sucked. And they got somebody else to do Thor 2. And then we got that Thor 2 wasn't great. It was still better than Wonder Woman, though. Just because, Thor and Loki were in it. So yeah, I think that's probably everybody's like lowest ranked MCU movie besides Incredible
I thought a
Hulk.
woman did direct Thor 2.
I don't know who directed Thor 2. I was just more focused on Patty Jenkins. The fact that Feige was like, no. He was like, we're not, she's not good. she's not good. She's gone. And then
I totally read that wrong when you sent it. When you,
of course you did, because you're a moron.
When I was reading it, I thought it was Love and Thunder. I didn't know it was Thor 2.
No, Taika Waititi's doing Love and Thunder.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because when Natalie Portman.
Well, that's why she left. That's why she left.
Say it, Rob.
How do you say the guy's name?
Taika Waititi. Shut up. You know who I met?
Yeah. I know.
Taika Waititi. But yeah, so Natalie Portman was upset because she thought it was a good opportunity for a female director.
And that's why she left.
And then
the third one.
Yeah. So Natalie Portman was upset that she was fired. Is that what that said?
Yeah. Did you read any of the things? You just read the headline, didn't you?
I peruse. I'm too busy reading comics.
Peruse means to like really like look at something, right? It doesn't mean to ignore. I don't think you're using peruse correctly.
I thought it meant to swiftly go through something and get just the key points.
I'll look it up just so you understand and you don't use this word correctly anymore. Read something typically in a thorough or careful way. Peruse.
Ooh. So it's the opposite of what you were thinking.
What am I looking for? What word am I looking for?
Ignored. I ignored
deleted comment.
Yeah,
yeah. The whole time I thought it was about Love and Thunder. I didn't even. Wow. So she
you didn't click on it.
So she had it way back then. Thor 2. Wow. So
yeah. Well, that's old news though. That we've known about that.
Oh well, I didn't.
Well, like I said, I didn't really because I didn't even know who she was at the time. So it wasn't until I saw her work in the first Wonder Woman where I was like, she's not a great director. She's like Zack Snyder too. Like, why is that a good thing?
So if you didn't like Thor 2, The Dark World already, how bad do you think it would have been?
Could have been worse. Could have been worse. So my thinking there is maybe they kind of rushed that story a little bit, maybe too, since they were working with her and they went with somebody else.
Yeah, I agree. It is one of the ones way down on the list. How about you?
Here's the thing: I don't hate it, but I really don't have a desire to rewatch it hardly ever. So
it's
like
just
right
not
now,
that exciting. It's not. There's nothing that really stands out.
Like the best scene is when Loki turns into Captain America. But I've been going through the Iron Man movies. I went back on Iron, so I just watched Iron Man 1. I started Iron Man 2, and I was thinking about his different armor suits in the movies. I feel like his armor started going downhill after, I don't know, maybe Mark 7. I don't know. I think Iron Man 3, and then it started getting like slimmer. And I like the bulky look for the Iron Man suit. Yeah, you know what I mean? It reminds me of the comics.
The technology is advancing through the years, so it's getting smaller.
I get that, but you would still want to be, plates are still better armor, and the more nanites or whatever they're called you have, the more armor, protection you have, which you saw would have been useful in, those movies if they didn't like slim it down so much. I never liked the later armor look. So I like the original armor, the Mark III. I mean, I guess that's technically not the original. So this is the Mark III, but the first red and gold suit in Iron Man 1 is the Mark III armor. That's still like the gold standard for me. He looked good in Avengers. He looked good in Iron Man 3.
Yeah, it is kind of funny when you think about it, because in Endgame he looks like he's wearing spandex, basically.
Yeah,
it's so thin.
It doesn't look good. And I mean, like you said, I get it. I get they're trying to show off this technology. It's like, well, when you want more armor, though, like, wouldn't that be? You could still have it just be thicker,
double the amount of nanotech. Yeah,
yeah.
Okay, I see it.
Do you have a favorite armor or a least favorite armor?
I like the one where he got the V when he.
Oh, the triangle.
Is that Iron Man 2?
Iron Man 2? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I like that. That's solid. That's yeah, that's a good armor. That was, I think, the end of Iron Man 2, and then that went away. The triangle was gone. He went back to the circle in the next movie, which I really like that triangle too. But yeah, I liked all his early armors basically, and then as it went on, I liked it less and less. Whereas Captain America's armor just kept getting cooler and cooler. Like,
so which Captain America did you like the best?
Oh, dude, Endgame. Because so I was reading about, because like it reminded me even more of the comics. So like Age of Ultron is when he got what I consider to be his best suit, Captain America. And then they kind of iterated on that going forward.
Except for the magnetic shield.
Anyway. But so in Endgame, I don't know if you noticed, but it almost looks like mail, like plate mail. Like he has like little, links or whatever.
Is that where it's like real dark too? Like a very dark, almost black?
It is a darker blue, but it's still blue. But yeah, so I was reading supposedly that like Tony Stark made that suit, and that has like nanites in it too or something. And that's why it looks like that mail, which there's something they did in the comics. Even when he had it like his cheesy looking suit in the comics, you could still see like that kind of mail look to it. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, like
you notice that at all?
Like mesh, like a knight's.
I just watched Endgame.
Yeah.
I just watched Endgame, but I didn't notice. I wasn't looking too hard.
But I loved his suit, even going back to the only suit I genuinely don't like is the one from the first Avengers movie. Like that one's just so, it just doesn't look good to me.
I like very campy.
I like that one.
I
like the Winter Soldier.
Is that the one with the single star and the stripes, red and white stripes going down.
To me, it's almost more about the fact it just doesn't look like it would move properly. Like it looks like a costume. It doesn't look, every other suit he had looked like something a soldier might wear to some extent. It looked flexible, had some breathing room, and then he shows up in the spandex in Avengers, and I'm like, oh, this is corny as hell. I did not like it.
They're trying to fire up those Americans.
I guess so. But I feel like the other one, but from like Age of Ultron on, though, he had really great looking suit. Rob, you like the stealth suit from
I like the shield suit.
So that's my they call it the stealth suit.
Is that what they call it? I have a T-shirt, but I'm too fat to wear it.
I
got the shield emblem.
Yeah,
I put on a Deadpool shirt the other day, and I was like, "Oh, my nipples! I don't think I can wear this anymore."
The worst is when you buy a shirt brand new and it doesn't fit. I'm like, oh,
well, yeah. Like I was an extra large 20 minutes ago.
We lost you for a second. You froze.
Oh.
I was like, did he not find that funny? I thought that was funny.
All right, what else is going on?
So I tell the listeners, my wife watched Wonder Woman, the 1975.
Oh, yes.
It's on HBO Max. And it was actually... We're talking 45 years ago, 46 years ago.
You're already starting to
like
make
a TV series.
Yeah, but they had I guess the first episode is the pilot, and it was like a movie, hour and a half long on TV, and it was actually more entertaining than Wonder Woman 1984. It was incredible.
I watched,
but Linda Carter's, man.
Oh yeah, she's fine. Yeah, I watched that same thing not knowing it was an hour and a half long.
Yeah. Oh, it's cheesy.
And I was like, I want to watch this just because, it's I used to watch the show. I don't remember any of it.
Right.
It's really bad. The acting's horrible. But
it's 1975.
I get it. Yeah. I get it. But I couldn't make it. I made it.
And it's television.
Yeah.
1975.
Right.
I made it 45 minutes and I was like, I can't
so
finish it.
It had like red buttons. I don't know if you know, he's a comedian. It had Cloris Leachman was in it.
Red buttons.
Is
that the older
the red
guy,
hair guy?
Short?
Yeah, that's him. He was in it.
Okay, I knew that guy. I was like, dude, I remember that.
I've heard of Red Skelton.
So in 1975, so they actually had the scene, like where the Amazons are training and stuff. It was hilarious.
I got that far.
It was like in slow motion, and everybody's boobies are bouncing. It's hilarious. It's pretty risky for 1975.
It was like a Wonder Woman Olympics or something.
Yeah. Did you get that far?
Yeah, that's about right when I shut it off.
Yeah, that's probably right.
It was Diana was,
she had a blonde wig on. She
didn't want
herself.
Her mother to know she was competing. Yeah.
Right. Boy, Linda Carter looks even good blonde. Whew.
God damn, she's
so. Anyway, so I guess there was like 2 or 3 seasons. I don't know. And I just watched that with Molly, but Molly ended up watching everything. But I guess,
really?
Yeah, I guess the first season, it takes place in the 30s, 40s, somewhere in there. But it was on TV, so it got so expensive because of all the costumes and the cars and everything. So they like just jumped 30 years. and like it was in that current time, I guess the second season.
Really?
Because it got so expensive.
They're like, we can't do all this art, all these costumes.
But
I remember watching it at my great grandma's house, like episodes here and there. The things I remember were her bulletproof bracelets.
Yeah.
Did she and of course her lasso of truth or whatever. But
she had a boomerang headband. She did that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Did she do like a really fast spin to change into costume or something?
Yes.
Okay.
And Molly said there was one where she spun around and she turned it, instead of her outfit, it was a wetsuit. And the reason they said that they had a bathing suit for her to spin around, because I guess she was going in the water or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
And so it was supposed to be in a bathing suit, but it kept on like malfunctioning. So like whatever that means.
Director's like, cut. Can we do that?
They
again?
Just put her in a wetsuit, so she like did the spin. Wonder Woman.
Yeah, that's right. They played the theme when she was doing.
I didn't see it. Molly was telling me, but I thought that was funny.
Wonder Woman.
I was like, damn it, we didn't get to see her in a bathing suit. Not that she kind of is in a bathing suit though.
I got to the invisible jet, like she's flying the jet and stuff.
Oh man, it looks like a glass, like somebody blew the glass jet. Like on
it like a glass blower. Is that?
Yeah. Like when you blow glass.
Yeah,
it looks like somebody like made the jet doing that.
It's so bad. I was like, I can't do this anymore. That's when I texted you, Shawn. I was like, I'm turning.
I appreciate the glass jet. I appreciate the glass jet more than her just deciding to turn things invisible all of a sudden out of nowhere. She could just turn things invisible. I'd rather have a glass jet.
Yeah. Well,
Rob, you're out of frame.
Get like 46 years. 46 years ago.
Like
debut.
Like Rob said, though, it was better. It was better than the Wonder Woman 84. Even being that bad. That's how bad 84 was.
So bad.
Wonder Woman.
Yeah, Wonder Woman.
All right, so you want to get to the Crow before
let's get
talk
to
too
it.
Much about other stuff?
Yeah. Let's talk about a comic on our show.
All right, so this week's selection is
like
the Crow.
3 months ago.
Actually, again,
this episode, we're talking about the Crow, which is written and illustrated by James O'Barr. Published back in the 80s, I believe, by, looks like copyright 81, 89, 92. I think it was published by, was it Slave Labor or was it somebody else? I don't remember who published it now initially. But obviously they made a movie that I believe came out in 94. Brandon Lee. Anyway, a lot of people know the story of the movie. You guys know the story of the movie, obviously. I read this comic book after I saw the movie.
Me too.
You read it well after you saw. I read it a little bit more immediately after I saw the movie.
And then I read the comic, and then the next night I watched the movie.
I did
just
that
to compare it.
I did that too.
So
the movie actually wasn't bad.
The Crow, a little piece of trivia for listener is this: The Crow is the movie I've seen the most times in a movie theater. I saw it 7 times in
Holy
the movies.
Nikes.
So I think I like it. I think it's a pretty good movie.
It's pretty good.
Is that in your top 20 films, though?
Oh, yeah. I love The Crow.
Really? All-time film?
Yeah. It's one of the best comic book movies. It's just one of the best movies. Now, part of the reason I saw it so much is so like 92, 93 is when my mom kind of started getting her marbles back a little bit. And we got a TV and we got cable. And she wanted to go see The Crow. And she wanted to see it a bunch of times. I think she saw it more than I did. And I would just go with her because I wanted to see it too. But I think she's had a crush on Brandon Lee when it comes down to it, which is gross. But
was she
I remember
Bruce
one of the
Lee
times, not that I know of, she never really watched martial arts. I think she just thought Brandon Lee was hot. I really think that was it.
Everybody did at the time.
Me too.
He was hot. Yeah. I mean, I can't argue with that. As gross as it is, since it's my mom. But well, I remember one of the times. So every time I would see this movie, it was always at the Plaza 8, Chapel Hill. They would always play the trailer for Speed. And I had no interest in Speed, but I saw the trailer so many times that like one of the times she went to see it, I was like, I'm gonna watch Speed. Speed came out this week. I'm gonna go and watch that instead. And I did. I went and watched Speed instead, and I was like, oh, it's okay. And then Speed blew up. Speed was like a big hit, and I was like, really? This movie? But yeah, it was. People seem to love Speed for some reason.
It was action packed.
Wildcat behind the wheel.
But yeah, that's my little Crow movie story, and then I bought the comic book.
Did you take me to the theater with you one of those 7 times?
Nope.
Maybe? I don't know. I have no idea. I don't remember who I was with every time. I know, like, probably at least 4 of those times I was with my mom, though. So, and I probably saw it with you.
I'm sorry. My memory's so bad. I just depend on my friends for like any.
We saw a lot of movies at that time. That's when I was, finally I was old enough that I was doing what I wanted to do.
What year did you say it came out?
94.
That was 94. So I was like 17. So I had a lot more freedom and whatnot. And we would just go, you and I would just go see any movie that came out.
Shit, 94. That was Pulp Fiction. That was
Clerks. It was a lot of stuff that year, man.
I'm sure I saw Crow with you at least once.
Right. All right. So, and just for those of you who might not know, if you didn't see the movie, it's basically just kind of a revenge from the grave tale. Man and a woman, and this is the comic book version. Man and woman, their car breaks down. They're in the wrong place, wrong time. Some bad dudes are rolling by, and they instead of pulling over to help them, they pull over and rob them and murder the dude and rape his wife or his girlfriend, whatever. And then he comes back from the dead. And this, I don't know. So did you guys read any of the?
Dude, I read the foreword.
Did you read the foreword?
Finally read the foreword. And
finally,
I'm glad I did, because I felt so bad for the James O'Barr. Is that his name?
Yeah.
Dude, like he basically wrote this story because in real life, I guess he sent his girlfriend out to get something, and then she was killed by a drunk driver.
Yes.
So he basically wrote this comic to, contend with all this grief he was feeling, So he does this, to deal with all that pain. And then, it gets picked up as a movie, and, he's finally starting to deal with all that pain. And then Brandon Lee gets killed during the movie.
Right.
And then he once again falls back into this trap. Like it was all my fault. Like if I would have never sent her out, she would have never been killed. If I would have never wrote this book, Brandon Lee would still be alive,
He was like on the set. He couldn't.
Yeah.
He couldn't finish the movie. He could not finish the movie. They had to finish it without him.
Oh my God, dude. I just felt so bad.
And the sad thing too, there was only like 8 days of filming left or something.
Yeah.
It wasn't a lot of days left in the actual filming schedule. Which 8 days of filming seems like a lot, but I mean, that was probably maybe 10 to 15 minutes of actual footage they needed to shoot, It just takes a while to get those shots set up and, to reshoot and all that stuff. It probably really wasn't even all that much footage. But yeah, so Brandon Lee famously killed on set due to a non-union worker. They were breaking a lot of rules shooting this movie basically to keep it under budget. A lot of poor decisions made there. And then some poor actor was the one who pulled the trigger. He's handed what he, is a prop gun, like he's probably been handed a million times before, pulls the trigger, kills somebody,
So it was just a real bullet or what?
No.
No, it was weird. I covered it on the podcast I do with Maggie a long time ago. It had something to do with like, they left like a casing in. So it was just like the metal. Yeah, it wasn't an actual bullet, but it's still.
So it was like basically a piece of shrapnel.
Yeah, and when he went to fire the blank, it fired that out.
But it wasn't supposed to have. They still did it wrong because it wasn't supposed to have. It should have been cleaned and everything.
Right,
and it wasn't supposed to have the
But you said because of shortcuts.
Oh, they said it was really bad. The whole movie. They were over budget.
Yeah, but when I was reading that forward, I was like, "Oh my God, dude, what this guy is going through?" It's like, so brutal, dude.
So so you read that, and then you read the comic, and he's in. The thing I forgot to do, which I wish I had done, is like years later he actually made a soundtrack to read the book to, which you can get on Spotify, and I didn't send it to you. I should look that up. I can't remember the name of it now. And I didn't read the whole thing to the soundtrack, but it's very, kind of like 9 Inch Nails meets The Cure kind of sound, like emo industrial, which is fitting. And I can't.
The soundtrack for the movie is that's one of the best soundtracks ever, right?
That's my all-time favorite soundtrack. I'm talking about the soundtrack to read the comic book too.
Yeah, I know. It's
Okay.
It's different than that. I'm just talking about the movie soundtrack. Well, hey, isn't our theme music from a song on that?
Yeah, well, it's ripping off a song, so don't put that out there. Jesus Christ, dude! You trying to get us copyright struck? What the fuck is wrong with you?
No, it's different. It's not the same song.
Well, it's inspired by, is what we would say.
Right.
It's inspired by a song that is on the Crow soundtrack. Steve,
well, I
Jesus
listen to
fucking
both.
Christ, dude.
They're different.
Why can't I find this album? I gotta find this so I can tell a listener about it. Oh, here it is. All right, it's called "Fear and Bullets" by a band called Trust Obey. And that's available on Spotify if you want to read this. It's a little over an hour long soundtrack. It's a nice companion while you're reading the comic book. Kind of helps kind of get you there a little bit.
So, puts you in the mood for what? Despair?
I mean, just everything that's going on. It's just like a soundtrack, like to a movie. You know how they put music in movies, Steve?
Yeah.
Oh, this is kind of like that, except you read and listen to music.
Yeah, but everybody reads at a different
pace. It's like
pace.
A score for music, man.
So
everybody reads at different pace.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not necessarily like page for page, but it'll help. Just like all the little poems, all the little lyrics from The Cure and Joy Division and those other kind of emo bands that he would fit in there. The poetry. So basically, I think the comic overall is I think the movie stays pretty true to the comic. There are some changes, as far as some of the characters, some of the bad guys, like Top Dollar and stuff. You do get the what's that guy's name? Like the Skull Cowboy,
right?
Or whatever is kind of a
Tom. Tom was a newer one. I remember I guess when she was being raped on the side of the road. Tom, I guess they say that he kept kicking her in the face and everything. And then another guy, after she was all bloodied up after being kicked so many times, another guy just shot her in the face. And I guess the blood spewed on Tom's, like his pant legs and his shoes and stuff. And then when the crow comes to get Tom, he takes a sword and cuts off his legs. I thought that was pretty. He's like,
that's such a great scene.
Yeah.
Like,
dude, it was I thought the movie was violent, but
did you?
Yeah. Well, I just remember like in the movie, I just remember feeling like stained, like after the movie. It's like,
okay.
I was at the age, like I watched a lot of horror with Dad, but it was always goofy, like after, I don't know, 94. So I was 15, I guess. After that movie, I was just like, okay, evil exists and it happens to people, It's like this actually people I just felt, just different after this movie. I was like, this actually happens to people, when I thought about it. Like people are out there getting murdered and stuff. But
yeah, I mean that's okay. So it was kind of like the coming of age movie for you in some ways.
Yeah, it was. I just looked at the world. Yeah, and that opening scene though only lasted about 3 minutes, but it was like enough to just make me feel like, oh God, this is horrible.
Right. And that was the scene that he was killed in. Was that opening scene actually?
Yeah.
So that was, they reshot a lot of that stuff. Obviously, didn't want to use that footage, but it was still very impactful. Yeah, when he chopped off that guy's feet, though, like I remember that was a moment for me when I first went that I will always remember from the first time I read the comic book. I was like, oh, okay. That's what we're playing with in the comic book. This again, this is a real violent shit. Because I had seen the movie first, and he chopped that guy's feet off. And doesn't the guy say something like, "I can't feel my leg"? Yeah. I don't know. My leg hurts or something. I forget what it was, but it was
right.
I was just like, he's like brutal.
He was like, "You'll be asleep soon. Don't worry about it," or something like that, and just walks out. I was like, "This is awesome."
Yeah, he's got a sword and stuff, and dude, I love this comic book. I think you can tell what kind of rating I'm going to give it.
I love the artwork too. Like it was black and white, but I thought the way they drew the Crow, man, he looks so good. I don't know.
Well, dude, how about the way that he would change like styles and stuff, going from just drawing to brushes?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's like a lot of. It was like more like. In some of the scenes that weren't, you didn't need a lot of definition. It'd be like a splatter kind of. It was really interesting.
Well, I like the way I feel like he did like paints, like actual paintings maybe for the scenes with him and his girlfriend, kind of lighten it, and then like hard inks for the violence and all that kind of stuff. Rob, come back in frame. You're out of frame.
You don't need to see me.
Rob fell asleep.
We do. We don't want to see half your face. We want to see all of Rob's beautiful face.
I thought he did a good job building up those moments with him and her too. So when they do get killed in the end, you feel it that much more, Yeah,
it's very, very dramatic. Robbie, you haven't weighed in at all. What did you think of this book?
It was good. I liked it.
All right. Well,
that's about all I got. It was all right.
It's good.
Yeah, and I liked how the movie stayed true to pretty much to the comic. I mean, there was some leeway there.
Yeah. Like as far as like
the bad guy, but and what T-Bird was the big bad guy in the comic, and then they had some other guy.
I think that was supposed to be Top Dollar, right? The main bad guy.
I think it was. Wait, are you talking about the comic book? I don't think Top Dollar in it. I thought they used T-Bird was the main bad guy.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Oh, okay, yeah, T-Bird, and then Top Dollar was. Yeah,
but I'm talking about in the movie. I thought Top Dollar was supposed to be, or was that just a
Top Dollar was like the main bad guy in the movie.
Yeah.
T-Bird was the guy that had the T-Bird that went off the pier.
What was I forgot. What do you know the actor's name in the movie? The main antagonist.
Are you talking about Top Dollar?
Yeah. Do you know his name? Is the real name?
Yeah, Michael Wincott.
Okay, yeah. He had a sidekick in the comic. T-Bird had a sidekick in the comic.
Yeah.
And that sidekick was in the movie too, but it was Top Dollar sidekick instead of. Do you remember that guy's name? The sidekick? He's the
Skank?
No, it was a really tall black guy. Huge.
Oh, yeah.
But he was mentioned.
Tony Todd, maybe?
No, he was mentioned in the comic, and I forget his name.
No, I'm saying the actor's name. I think he was played by Tony Todd, but I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to think of the character's name in the comic, and I can't think of it. But I was like, oh, when I was reading the comic, I was like, oh, that guy's a character too in the comic. I was like, nice. Didn't even know that. Oh, what is his name? He was in the car in the comic when they started shooting through the car when the crow was going. It was one of the final scenes. I don't know. It's not important. I forgot.
His face reminded me of a clown.
Who?
The drawing of his face. He looked like a clown. Like it reminded me of the Joker. The crow.
Oh.
His face.
Okay. Well, he's supposed to kind of look like those...
the tragedy mask.
Like a mime?
Yeah. Yeah, well, the tragedy mask, like Steve was saying. What are those called? What's the other one called? Because there's two of them. There's tragedy and
comedy.
Is that what they are? Okay.
Yeah.
The drama mask?
Yeah. That's the tragedy.
But yeah,
that's comedy.
That's what he was supposed to look like. That was that inspiration. They kind of showed that in the movie too. They showed like those masks hanging on the wall.
Mm-hmm. They had him in the comic too.
Yeah. But yeah, so especially reading this, as a teenager, 17 years old, angsty, going through that, like definitely into like, emo / aggressive music and stuff just hit me perfectly back then. And it's fun, I read it now and I can, it's from a different place in my life and I can still enjoy it. Not on that visceral level I did as a kid where it was like a Bible to me, where it was like, this is comics, this is art. And then I do the 300 kick to whoever's standing in front of me. But, like, and the same thing with the movie, is like both, like I remember buying The Crow on VHS tape. I remember being upset that they didn't have a widescreen version. Cause I was already a fucking video nerd at the time. I was like, I want widescreen. Goddamn. I remember eventually Best Buy got a widescreen section that was like this big. And I just loved it. Like they had a VHS section. It was like widescreen. I was like, yes. And I remember buying like Casino and other movies. I think I did eventually get a letterbox version eventually.
The DVDs, what like the widescreen would have the red, and then the full screen would have the blue lettering or whatever.
Yeah, like the top to let you know. And I remember being angry. I was like, why do they make anything in full screen? Fuck those people. Don't cater to those people. You don't get full screen.
We're back to aspect ratios again.
Hey, you know what? I was thinking about this, though. Isn't it nice that I'm angry about aspect ratios instead of, say, our nation dying? Like, isn't that a better thing to be angry about? Like, if I'm going to put energy forth and be angry about something, it's great that it's something as inconsequential as the aspect ratios of our entertainment. You know, like I could put some perspective on there. I'm allowed to get angry.
Like, you know, I don't know. I haven't really followed what's going on yet, you know, and I know Joe Biden's done some things I disagree with. Like, I think he's already illegally bombing Syria or whatever, but I'm just like, he's not tweeting. There's nobody ransacking the Capitol building. It's
at his request, per his orders.
Right. It's so nice. There's still people wheeling out, you know, golden calf statues of Donald Trump to the Republican conventions or whatever.
There's about 160.
I was like, are they really rolling out a golden statue? Is this happening? Like, how do these Bible people don't know what's going on? But
yeah, what happened to the idol part?
I can't deal with it anymore. It's all so fucking stupid. I'm like, this can't be the world we're living in. And he's already. I was listening on the news today. I just heard him like he started speaking for the first time or whatever, and he's already like saying he's going to run again and shit. And I'm like, oh god, just kill me.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to. I think he's demagoguing it up. I think he's done.
It's all about money, man. Done. It's all about money. It generates, you know,
he's going to put his weight behind somebody is what I envision him actually doing. Like he can't handle another defeat. He couldn't handle this one. For instance, he just tells himself he won, even though 100% of the evidence is to the contrary. First and foremost, the fact that he's no longer in the White House would be the most damning evidence that would say you didn't win because you are no longer president.
Wait a minute now. March 6th, you know, when the original change of power happened, inauguration.
Oh God! I'm with you though. It's like aspect ratios. It's
liberating. Like I know that shit doesn't matter, but anger is my default state. So it's nice to put it towards something that doesn't matter. If I'm going to be angry, I'm going to be angry because Zack Snyder's stupid ass thinks that filming something in the aspect ratio of a television from 1987 is what we all need right now. That's going to somehow improve things for anyone. So yeah, I like to be, if I'm going to be angry, it's liberating. It's a relief because I talk about it and then it's gone. I don't have to worry about, our democracy being destroyed. That's not the heavy thing. It's just, 3 hours or 4 hours of entertainment is going to be less enjoyable because it's in a stupid aspect ratio. Much better. So much better for everybody. That's my gripe.
I'm with you, man. Like, look what I've been doing. Uh-oh. I might have to go plug something in. Don't worry about it.
We got 10 minutes because I got to pick up our food for dinner.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been reading comics, I've been watching movies, and I was like, man, this is much more enjoyable than reading fucking Donald Trump's stupid fucking tweets.
Yes.
It's like, this is great.
Or just all the news articles. Logan is still obsessed with all politics, and I'm just not. I'm like, and it's not because I'm like, oh, Joe Biden's great, he's going to do an amazing job. He's going to do the job that I expect from my presidents, which is I don't care about anything they have to say except for like maybe twice a year. You know what I mean? Otherwise, I'm just like, yeah, do your fucking job. I don't need to know about it. So that's kind of where I'm at. Yeah. Is he bombing Syria? Of course he's bombing Syria. Like I've said before, Joe Biden is basically just an old school Republican. He's a conservative motherfucker. That's his thing. Let's start killing brown skinned people right away. Let's get on that. That's not surprising. I hate to say that.
I know. That's why I was like, why do these people not like this pick? Makes no sense.
So, but yeah, it immediately goes back to that whole thing, and it is disappointing though. It's like, dude, that's your agenda, and it's also weird too that to raise minimum wage, we need all these fucking people to vote on it. But to go murder people, it's just one guy's like, yeah, go kill all those people. It's like, how is that fair? How does that make any sense? Shouldn't that be like flipped around? Yeah. Shouldn't he be like, yeah, pay raise for everybody? And then he's like, I want to go kill people. And they're like, we need to talk about this. No, it's the other way around. Like that, our government is so fucked up.
It's so fucked up, dude. It's so fucked up.
Makes no fucking sense.
That's why it's
nice. But yeah, Joe Biden is definitely a shit stain, but he's a much smaller shit stain that's been washed a few times. And so at least it smells better now. It just looks bad. Whereas Donald Trump is just a pile of shit, you know? So we got rid of the pile of shit. We're back to just the skid marks. Like, I'll take the skid marks, you know? Nobody likes skid marks. Hey. But it's better than a full shit pot.
Hey. But you're still wearing your underwear, right?
Right, exactly.
Hey, can we ever just have clean underwear? Is that possible?
No. That will never happen. We will never have just nice, comfy boxers.
Did you not read The Crow? It's all evil out there.
Wait a minute. Talk to Rob. I got to get this power cord plugged in.
I can't believe you've been running this without a power cord.
So prepared.
Like a bad idea.
So prepared.
Super prepared. Like,
the
amount of battery drain that your screen takes, like you think you would know this just from owning a phone. Just having your screen on it drains your battery more than anything. And then on top of that, you got internet up and down. You're sending video, so that's a lot. All that stuff goes processing video, receiving video, sending video, as well as audio.
I have a better battery than my old one.
No, you don't use a battery for recording a podcast. Like, that's a terrible idea.
This isn't the Iron Man suit over the...
Yeah, you don't have an arc reactor for a battery.
Right.
All right, Rob, what's your rating for James O'Barr's The Crow?
I give it a 3.5. It's really good.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I thought it was surprising. A great story. And I tried to read it. It was a good thing. I'm glad I didn't watch the movie till afterwards because it's been 30 years since I saw the movie. So I've probably seen it on TNT a couple times, but since then. But it's really good. It's a good story.
What'd you give it?
3.5. 3.5. We're doing halves now, so I'm all in the half.
I thought you'd be turned off by the violence. I know you're not big on violence, so.
No. I mean, I get it.
Excuse me.
You know, you kill my wife, and if I came back as an evil, whatever he was, I'd
not evil. He just
semi-evil.
I
Revenge.
Don't think he's evil at all.
You know, they didn't do in the movie. They used the Crow as, you know, a way to get to him. They didn't mention that in the comic.
No, that's one thing I really liked about the comic book over the movie is like you said. So the Crow is his weakness in the movie, right? And that weird chick figures it out, and so they shoot the Crow or whatever. Now he doesn't have his powers. That never happens in the comic book. The whole time he's just like, I'm gonna kill all you motherfuckers. And then he kills all you motherfuckers, and then he just goes to the grave. He never loses his powers. And I would have been fine with that in the movie. I didn't need him to get weakened. Yeah. It could have just been like, I've served my purpose.
Yeah.
I'll return to, my death state or whatever.
They needed a reason for Albrecht to help him, I guess. I don't know. The cop.
Yeah. Well, I think it's just kind of just doing that thing that they didn't do in the last Star Wars trilogy, which is where your hero actually has some weaknesses. That's kind of what they did there. They want to be like, oh, he's got to overcome these odds, or like I just watched Iron Man. He has to go back to that shitty arc reactor, and now the other guy not only has a suit with much thicker armor, he has the better power source as well. And how what I mean? Like, again, you got to kind of take your hero, and you got to weaken him a little bit.
Yeah.
For instance, in the Matrix, Neo fucking dies. All right, so. Like in the first one, he dies. He's very not good. He's so not good. He dies. He fucking dies.
Well, how's he back in Matrix 4?
Well, who knows? Who knows what Neo that is?
The first one he died. And the third one.
No,
he died
I'm literally
twice.
talking about the first movie. Yeah, I'm not talking about the third one. I'm talking about Matrix 1.
I think he thought you were talking about the third one.
Yeah, because he wasn't listening to me.
Remember at the end of Matrix? You've seen it a couple times, right?
There's a movie that came out in 99. Yeah, 99, there was a movie that came out. It was called The Matrix. And at the end of that movie, Neo dies.
Remember he got shot? Spoiler alert.
Spoiler.
By Agent
asshole!
Smith.
I never, dude. Come on, I didn't know that.
So yeah, weird that Matrix fan number 1 did not remember that.
I remembered. I was
thinking,
you have
a Neo statue that I'm staring at right now.
Dude, I was thinking of the third one. He died multiple times. You got to give me that. Come on.
So yeah, but I was talking about how he came back in the first movie.
I knew you were thinking the third one.
Yeah.
But anyway, just going back to that though, like for this particular movie, I didn't need that because his quest wasn't to save anyone. You know what I mean? He was literally just, I'm going to kill these guys. So I didn't need him to lose his powers or get depowered.
Well, I thought his quest was to save him from to let his soul rest.
Revenge,
I guess
baby.
So, but either way, he doesn't need to get depowered to do that because he, it's not like he was going to kill Top Dollar and then take over his business.
Exactly. He starts running drugs.
Right. And he's like, now I'm the fucking kingpin in Detroit.
That was Crow 2. That was Crow 2's City of Angels.
So I remember seeing City of Angels with you. I do not remember the movie. I just remember being like, this is not good. It was just not a good movie. I saw it one time at the theater. Never watched it again. I liked some of the songs. I remember liking the soundtrack a lot more than the movie.
I don't even remember that film. I know I saw it.
I don't either.
I saw it.
I couldn't tell you one thing from it.
Yeah. I
didn't like it.
I don't remember.
They made 2 more sequels after that. Did you
Are
know
you
that?
kidding me?
No, I've never seen either one. Kirsten Dunst is in one of them. Edward Furlong is the Crow in one of them. I'm not making this up.
No shit. The only thing I didn't like about the Crow, the movie, was the main detective was like he was like always like, you're a piece of shit, Albrecht. You can't do anything right, Albrecht. It's like, why are you such an asshole, Albrecht? And it's just like, I didn't need that guy at all. And then there was one. What was the other? Oh, I thought everybody was just way too easy with like, accepting that there's a dead person talking to them. Like Ernie Hudson just has him in his house and he's like, oh, okay, it's cool. You're dead, but I'm talking to you.
I think he played it well because he was pretty stunned at first. And also, you got to remember, Ernie Hudson was a Ghostbuster. So he's used to seeing people come back from the dead.
He's used to the paranormal.
Dude, Ernie Hudson's awesome.
Yeah, he's great. But I think he does have that genuine reaction. And as he would say in Ghostbusters, I think he turned white. But he had that reaction of shock. But then, like, you just kind of accept what's in front of you. And there's a dude in front of you. He's like, you're dead. And he's like, yeah, I mean, like, I was all in on it. I think Ernie Hudson's
evidently
great,
not. He's not dead.
I would have just pissed my pants and then probably fell to the floor. That's
he's like, I watched you die. He said to him, like, I watched you die or whatever. And he's like, yeah, but there he is. So I guess grab a couple beers and let's talk about it. Because that's what he did. It was like, I thought it was a totally reasonable reaction myself.
He was like, I'll just smoke a cigarette. And he gave the ghost a beer. He's like, here, you want a beer?
Right. Right.
Like, a little too easy for me, but
hashed out. I thought it was good because I think Ernie Hudson just played it. I think they both played it really well. And I didn't need to see a whole like Seth Rogen, Jonah Hill exchange where they're just like, all right, wait. All right, so let me get this straight. You're dead. You're dead right now. So can you die again? How long are you alive for? Do your organs work?
No,
I don't need any of that.
I'm not expecting that. I'm expecting him to be like, fuck, and then jump out a window.
That's
like
way too dramatic.
Like a normal
That's
reaction.
way too dramatic.
Yeah. Dude,
it's not like he was a relative. He just watched him die. It's not like it was somebody who was close to him.
Yeah.
If it was somebody that was close to you that came back to life, you'd be a little more freaked out. But if it was someone like you saw one time.
No, I'd be freaked out if anybody came back to life and was there and talking to me.
I would be more intrigued than anything else. I think I would be more like, were you really dead? You know what I mean? Maybe he just was in a coma. I would have those kind of questions. I wouldn't have like, oh my God, you came, because I don't believe in any of that stuff. So I'd be like, there's a scientific reason for this. So I would not.
That's true. Because when he did come into his apartment, it's not like he had a hole in his chest and it sealed up.
He's not like a
zombie.
zombie.
He looked like a zombie. He wasn't zombie fucking the Crow.
All right.
I'd be scared if he was zombie looking and he can't.
Right. If he was all messed up, I'd be like, oh God, pop, pop, pop. You know, like.
All right. I'll go with it.
That would be my reaction.
You guys have convinced me. I'll go with it.
So what do you give it? We got to wrap this up.
I give it a 4. I love it.
I
loved every bit of it, and I loved the story that he did, especially when he was telling all the little moments between him and her, and the freaking the death scene was brutal as fuck, man. I was like, this is horrible. I was like, I was having trouble reading it, but it was really, I mean, it puts you in their place, you know, and you could fucking feel for
it was people. Disturbing. I mean, it was a disturbing comic, but it was very well written and like original. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Loved it.
Comics, man. Higher art form.
You gave it a 4, right?
4.
Okay.
You didn't give it anything yet.
Oh, I didn't know. I
4 out the door. I think it was pretty obvious. That was a good guess. Yeah, just 4 out the door. Like I said, man. The movie. I was already into comics. Didn't read that one. Picked up the trade paperback after that. Because this wasn't. This was a very independent comic when it came out. So the first time I ever even heard that it was a comic was when they were already making the movie. It was probably one of those things that was on like E! Entertainment News. They're filming The Crow based on a comic book, just like almost like an aside or whatever. But just, for so many different reasons. The artwork is amazing. The heart of the story is amazing. I love a good revenge tale. I love The Punisher. I love John Wick. That's just right. It's simple. It's to the point. You're not saving the world. You're just, you got this singular mission because you're so angry or wronged or whatever. Told really well. I love the violence. It was purposeful.
God, there was lots of violence in this comic, man. Yes. Was lots, like not just them getting killed, but him getting retribution.
Yeah.
This was black and white, and it was an easy read for some reason. I don't know if I'm getting used to black and white comics now.
Maybe because we knew pretty much the story before reading it, maybe?
Nah, I don't know. I didn't have any problems like reading it, even though it was black and white. I think because the artwork was so good.
Yeah, the artwork was really good.
Yeah, and so I think I spent, maybe because I was spending a little more time on the panels, looking at the artwork because it's really good.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. But I was thinking because I forget which comic it was that was in black and white. Man, I liked it, but I had a hell of a time reading it.
That was Scud.
I think that was Scud. Yeah.
Man, it took me forever to get through that.
Nobody knew what they were looking at. That's why.
Maybe.
I had to turn this shit upside down. I'm like, I
love Scud.
Looking at this right?
Yeah, that one definitely had a different style.
Definitely a different tone to it, for sure.
Yeah. Yes.
And I remember saying I can't do black and white comics anymore.
Yeah.
Not knowing that there was actually.
Oh, we did Ninja Turtles too. We did black. I believe.
Yeah, I had a hard time with Ninja Turtles too, reading it.
I didn't. Not with Ninja Turtles.
I don't know why I didn't with this one. I don't know. Maybe I had a good night's sleep or something. I don't know.
My opinion has changed on black and white since that first one we did.
It can be very dramatic and impactful.
Yeah.
But yeah, so really high rated. The Crow, check it out. You can buy it through Kindle if you want to get a digital copy. It's not on Comixology. I don't know why. It's considered a regular ass book.
Or Shawn will mail you one of his 28 copies.
You can get it on Kindle, Apple Books, because Steve didn't give me his password, so I couldn't read it. So I was about to buy it on Apple Books.
What are you talking about? I gave you my password.
Yeah, eventually. It took like an hour.
Yeah. Well, you called me at 10:30 at night.
That's what happens when you wait too long.
Then I had to go through some fucking 2-step verification in Google, and then my phone was dead, so I had to charge that before I could figure out what the password was.
Just change all your stuff so that it doesn't. That phone is gone.
I need the 2-step.
I love that. There's at least once a podcast where Rob and I or one of us just verbally berate Steve for being an asshole or a moron or both.
I loved how our podcast started last week or 2 weeks ago.
I don't even remember.
Was it? Oh, I'm yelling at Steve. I can't hear you for like 25 minutes before you started recording. I had no sound. He plugged me in, but he didn't push the thing in all the way.
Well, I didn't know you had
for
to
like
be
25 minutes. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with my headphones.
You gotta be fucking.
So I'm like,
He-Man.
God damn it, Steve!
You gotta be fucking He-Man to
like
put
a
this
cranky
fucking
old
jack
man
in there. I've never had to push it so hard into a fucking. That's what he said.
He-Man fighting a USB. Okay.
By the power of Grayskull, go in the fucking jack.
All right, so we got to pick a con. I know Rob needs to get going. I'm going to give you guys an option. Either
DC.
It is. They're both DC options. This is for you, Bobby.
I'm just kidding. I got that DC universe or whatever the hell it is. I want to use it.
So
you're allowed to read comics.
God damn it, I can't.
You can read. Yeah, you can use it whenever you want. Actually, it's not. I don't have anything to do with when you use the app.
Well, I justified it because I was watching it was before HBO Max when everything switched over. So I had actually. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
All right. So one of them we could either do the Lobo story that I think Steve has already read.
Yeah.
What is that? Which one did I tell you? That one was that Portrait of a Bass Stitch? I don't remember which one that was.
I have no idea.
I know Lobo. I know what it looks like.
There's a certain story though.
I don't know titles.
I gotta look it up real quick.
All right, give us the other one.
I tell you what it's about, but I don't want to spoil it for Rob.
What's the other one?
All right. The other one is a Green Lantern story.
Well, let's do Green Lantern since Steve hadn't read it.
All right.
I like Green Lantern. I love the cartoons.
I liked him on Justice League cartoon.
No, but he's got another cartoon. Did you watch that?
I haven't watched those.
It's really good.
It's the CG one.
The CG one, exactly. It's like 2 seasons.
Is it newer or has it been out?
It's been out for probably 10 years, Shawn?
Oh, really?
Yeah,
maybe 8 years. It's really good though.
The name of this story, and I'll get you guys more details so you can start reading it because I think it's all covered in this series, but it's called Green Lantern Sinestro Corps War. Is
it Hal Jordan or is it?
It's Hal Jordan, but I think Kyle Rayner might be involved. I haven't read it yet. I started reading it. I'm still on the first issue though, so I don't really know a lot about it. But I wanted to do like a modern Green Lantern story because I like Green Lantern. I've liked him since I was a little kid. So Sinestro Corps War, I'll get you more details about it. A modern story. I've never read it myself. I do know, Rob, that this is a lot longer than the Lobo story. So
that's fine. Sorry, I like Green Lantern.
78 issues.
It's a 36 issue arc. No, I think it's like 11 issues or something like that. It's pretty big though. The Lobo one's I think 4 issues.
What's the other name for Green Lantern? Not Hal Jordan. What's the other one?
John.
There's a lot of them. John Stewart, Guy Gardner, Kyle Rayner.
Yeah.
Which one was Ryan Reynolds?
Hal Jordan.
Hal Jordan.
Yeah.
Hal Jordan.
That's the main one. John Stewart was the one from Justice League, which I like. I like both of those. And then the
redhead
one,
Guy Gardner.
Yeah, I don't know too much about him. I've seen him like in Ultimate, like
he's like an Irish prick.
Yeah.
With a bad bowl haircut for some reason. Yeah, but I don't know a whole lot about and Kyle Rayner was kind of the guy they introduced in the 90s. He was like kind of supposed to be the more edgy one. They had a way cooler costume that nobody liked but me. Apparently, Green Lantern fans did not like the Kyle Rayner costume. I liked the Kyle Rayner costume. Just like I liked the updated Daredevil costume back then. But
and Green Lantern has its roots, right? Like it's Golden Age, right?
Yeah, it's Golden Age. Yeah. It goes. I don't know if you've seen it. You should look up like the original Green Lantern. He had like a cape. He literally carried a lantern.
Yeah, I have seen that.
He's like Lamplighter on The Boys.
Okay, before we go, did you see that clip I sent you? It was a YouTube video of SeaWorld from Cleveland, Ohio.
I started watching it, but then I was literally like, I've never seen this before, so I don't know why.
Did you get to the ski show? The whole reason I sent it was they had a DC ski show. It was superhero ski show. You got to watch the clip. I remembered this. I don't know. I was talking to Keith.
Why?
I was talking to Keith about something and then I was like, oh shoot, I remember SeaWorld, like, and the ski show. And then I was like, it was like Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Flash,
and that
Superman, Batman, Batwoman.
I actually read that article that somebody, you guys sent me something. I actually read it, or not. It was a video,
YouTube.
wasn't it?
Yeah,
you read the video.
That's why.
Yeah.
Well, I watched the whole video.
Yeah. Did you see the ski show? That was awesome. I remember that as a kid.
Yeah, the ski show, like going to the ski stadium,
that was awesome.
Was like the main show.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah, that was
and
it.
that when they had DC licensed out to SeaWorld,
that
was before I was born.
I remember.
But I remember them doing all kinds of they did all kinds of elaborate shows and everything. And
but it was like Batman, Superman, and they're like holding Batgirl up on skis. And crap.
Yeah, they're
cool.
doing the fucking pyramid.
And then they'd have the act, and then somebody would hold the card up like pow, wham.
Yeah,
when Batman and Robin were fighting.
Yeah, they basically did that same thing.
I saw the ski show.
Yeah,
it's basically I saw the ski show. But
it was
I never saw
it was the ski show.
It was always like
superheroes.
It was like. One year was like cowboys, and another year was like pirates. It was never. I don't remember ever seeing any sort of licensed stuff.
It was basically the same show, but with different.
Right, just different costumes.
Yeah,
and somebody would break through the wall, on their skis or whatever.
Yeah. And then it was always there's always the one that they come around on the ski, and then they let go. And they just kind of float right up to the stage.
They all did that.
Wave at everybody.
That is awesome.
It's cool how it advanced through the years. Because like by the time I was in high school, like they were using the boats to jump the ramps. Before it was just the boats would go around with the ski, and then 20 years later they're like jumping the ramps with boats and crap, and like it's crazy.
When you sent me that, I was mad because I was like, damn it, I wanted to see some superheroes.
Dude, it was so awesome. That and the Clyde and Seymour show. The spooky song.
SeaWorld was awesome. I know they were treating the animals.
You know what's funny? It's like it wasn't till I was an adult that I realized how absurd it was to have a SeaWorld in Ohio in a landlocked area. And how much money that actually costs to fucking because the logistics of shipping whales never occurred to me as a kid. That wasn't a thing that was going through my head at the time. And then as an adult, I'm like, Jesus, that's fucking horrifying. What
funny,
are they doing?
Because as I got older, I was like, where do you want to go to SeaWorld? Nah, I don't want to go to SeaWorld.
Right.
I want to go to Jogga Lake, and it's like, man, I wish I could have went to. Then when you get older, you're like, 20, and then you have kids, you're like, oh God, SeaWorld. Awesome.
I wish we had SeaWorld because I went to SeaWorld all the time because I wasn't allowed to go to the amusement park, so I would just stare longingly at Jogga Lake from across the fucking ski thing. But just staring at roller coasters.
Explain it to the listener about Jogga Lake.
What's that?
It's just
they shared a lake.
Yeah.
And so Jogga Lake was a theme park like Cedar Point, roller coaster theme park. It was right across the lake, and then we were on the SeaWorld side all the time, where I was anyway. And so when you would go to where they did the ski show, the water ski show, you could see Jogga Lake and all these rides and zooming around. And I would just, like I said, just kind of stare longingly, like one day I'll get to go there. But I did love Penguin Encounter was like my favorite thing when they got the penguin installation because I love penguins. So I just loved going there, and I'd go on the little people mover thing, and then I'd go sit back and just watch penguins. And I just dreamed of one day I would fantasize about somebody pulling me back there to hang out with penguins. That was a childhood dream of mine.
I remember
never happened.
Everybody wanted to go to that because it was air conditioned.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. Let's go to the Penguin Encounter. That was like me with Cedar Point and Disaster Transport, and then they got rid of it. I was like, God damn it! I love Disaster Transport. It was an indoor roller coaster. I just like going. It's like cool fuck off,
dude. SeaWorld. People would put their little children on top of killer whales. Like
pose for pictures. Get on the show.
Like how
I was like, I want to do that. I want to be that kid.
There's no way they would do that today.
No.
They used to shake their tongue.
Somebody died, right?
Somebody,
No,
the trainer. The
trainer died.
Right. Not anybody from the crowd.
Yeah.
But remember they used to he'd open his mouth and they'd shake its tongue?
Yeah.
It was like
we would do this. We'd be like, here, 5-year-old. Here you go.
And the best part, these things were called killer whales. Like that was their name. Right. The killer was in the name. These are killer whales, kids.
They weren't saying they weren't saying orca whales. They were like killer whales. Here, kid, come touch the killer whale. And we would put I wanted to do it. I'm sure my parents would have. I'm sure my parents would have been like, here you go. Touch the killer whale's tongue. Like what?
I dreamed of it. Yeah, I wanted to be one of those kids so bad and get the picture, and then he squirts out of his blowhole or whatever and all that stuff.
And you would
tail fin goes up.
You always wanted to sit in the front for the first
Splash
time.
zone. The splash zone.
Yes.
The splash zone.
The splash zone. Yeah. So you get that piss water all over you. Like, yes. Yeah.
Yes, sir. You get that. You get to the shows early so you could get in the splash zone.
So why did they close it? It just wasn't drawing money, or they were treating the animals
it was an animal rights thing. Had a lot to do with it, and then also like the cost of maintaining
because it wasn't
ocean life.
It wasn't year
in
round.
a landlocked area.
So, well, it wasn't year round like Orlando, where it's always warm all the time.
That's right.
So when winter came, remember they do the winter thing, and they'd only have
sent them down to Florida, right? Wouldn't they like send the whales away? Or,
yeah,
like, what did they do?
I think they did.
So yeah, it was costly.
So it was just they were losing too much money in the off season, basically.
Dude, SeaWorld was so awesome.
We had a freaking SeaWorld. It was so awesome. All right, guys, I got to go.
All right, I'm gonna keep talking though. But bye, Rob.
That's
Rob
fine.
is out.
I'm out.
Thanks for joining us,
listeners.
See ya.
But continue on the SeaWorld kick on our comic book show. I just want to say, we were actually incredibly, like privileged actually, and I didn't realize this growing up, but we had SeaWorld, Jogga Lake, and fucking Cedar Point. And to me, I was just like, oh yeah, everybody has like 3 amusement parks.
Nope.
And it's like there's whole states that don't have amusement parks.
Dude,
then we had Kings Island. If you wanted to go further, you could go down to Kings Island.
I was just talking. I was in one of my accounts like yesterday, and I was talking about roller coaster. I was like, oh, you know about Cedar Point, right? And they're like, no. I was like, what? I was like, how do you? Yeah, we were spoiled as fuck. We had Jogga Lake, SeaWorld, and Cedar Point all within
Kings
like
Island,
an hour?
Too. Kings Island within 3.
Kings Island.
Yeah,
a little bit further down south, but yeah, it's we had all that, and then like I said, you find out later in life, you're like, oh wait, this place people travel like would fly places to go to a fucking amusement park. Yeah. Here in Ohio, of all fucking places, we have 3, 2 amusement parks and a SeaWorld. Like, what the hell,
dude? I always liked SeaWorld better than Jogga Lake. I love the show.
I never got to go there. I never got to go there. I always wanted to go to Jogga Lake.
Dude, you never went to Jogga Lake ever?
I didn't go to Jogga Lake until I was probably 18. It was like I was pretty old, and I the last time like it changed to a Six Flags. I might not have even gone there until it was Six Flags.
Yeah, it sucked when it changed, man. Everything just it wasn't the same, man. It felt different, you know.
So I remember going to Six Flags with Maggie, but same thing with Cedar Point. Like I didn't go to Cedar Point until I was 18 years old. And like I always would lie and pretend I'd been to these places because it's easy to lie and pretend you've been on a roller coaster. It's like, oh yeah, I went up and down, and then I did the arms, I did all that. That was me on there, sure.
Shit, I can't believe we didn't take you. We were always going to that motherfucker.
It was mostly to do with the fact that my mom was so fucking protective of me; she wouldn't let me go. My sister got to go do shit. So being the favorite, I didn't get to go do anything. It was fucked up. Like my mom was like, yeah, go die on a roller coaster. But for me, and it's funny because like my sister's like, well, you were the favorite. It's like, there were no benefits to being the favorite.
Like, I don't feel favored.
Right. It's like, I just don't get to do anything. And I get my ass beat every day. Like, at least you get to leave. You get to go be at grandma's house. You get to go to fucking Jogga Lake with your friends.
Yeah.
Like, I was like trapped.
Jogga Lake was cool. The rides were cool and everything.
Motion detected at the front door.
Oh shit! Sorry.
My bad.
The rides were cool, and I loved like me and my aunt used to play the carnival games. We dropped so much money, trying to get the freaking biggest toy or whatever stuffed animal. That was fun. But SeaWorld always had the shows, man. I freaking love. I could sit there and watch those shows. Remember they had the lumberjacks at one point. They had the lumberjacks.
Oh, yeah.
These motherfuckers are climbing trees and hanging on the side and chopping shit down. And they turned that same stadium into a diving pool one time. Like they had divers. They had divers instead of lumberjacks.
Oh, I do kind of remember that.
So they'd send
like real high dive. Yeah.
They send some guy up like 300 feet or whatever, and he'd be like, "All right, I'm gonna jump in this little fucking pool." Something you see in a cartoon. Like we were actually watching this shit. Like,
yeah, I was like, he's jumping in like a 8-foot pool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like somebody.
No, I loved the shows. I did, but like as I got older, I was like, well, I want to go over there now. I'd seen all the shows and every iteration of every show. You know what I mean? Like I had the ski show fucking memorized by that point.
Yeah.
I had seen it so many times. Again, they changed up the costumes and the plot.
Yeah,
but
they could always.
It was, it's the same stunts. Oh my god, is the Carnival Barker or whatever.
Yeah.
But there were no rides though. There was no actual rides at SeaWorld. It was just shows. And I loved the shows and like the otter and the walrus or whatever.
And you had to come back to that ski stadium for the final show. That's what everybody was waiting for. That final show where they had the laser light show at the ski stadium. Everybody would pile into that mother. It was the final show of the night, and they'd have fireworks and laser lights. And I remember the first time I ever heard they would always play that song. Shit, we built this city on rock and roll. The laser lights were hitting you, and you're like, "Yes, it's fucking awesome." And
so one of my best memories of SeaWorld, again because my mom was like so fucking insane, was they had a little arcade. It was very small. It wasn't like the Cedar Point arcade, but they had a game. They had a real Ghostbusters video game. And I was just in there playing the real Ghostbusters video game until I ran out of money, which was probably about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But that's a memory I have, was like, and I never saw it anywhere else. I never saw the real Ghostbusters. It was like a 3-player game from what I remember. You could have 3 Ghostbusters. And, I loved Ghostbusters. I don't even know if I'd seen the movie at this point, but I just remember being in that arcade and just using up all my quarters.
Yeah. The arcade was directly under the ski stadium, like underneath the bleachers.
Yeah.
The arcade was right there. And then there was like some Italian restaurant next to it, know?
Yep.
And like we went to eat at those restaurants. Like, it wasn't great food at all. And we felt like,
it was still park food.
Yeah.
It was just served at a restaurant.
It was like Fazoli's or something.
Right.
And we're like, we can't wait to eat at the SeaWorld Italian restaurant.
SeaWorld Italian restaurant.
This shit was crazy, man. Yeah. Good times, man. Fucking SeaWorld. Can't believe that shit.
Yeah, and like I said, I just never considered everything that would go into maintaining the ocean life in Ohio. It literally makes no fucking sense. I never did get to take my kids. I did want to take my kids. I'm trying to think if it was around when they were real little and maybe we took them, but I don't think it was. I think it was gone by then.
Dude, I didn't think of the logistics of it until you just said that. Like I'm 41 years old and I'm just now like, wow, that was a task.
Yeah. Well, it was when they were talking about dismantling it and I was like, oh man. And then I was read all this stuff and I'm like, oh, that makes sense. It was just like that makes total sense now.
Yeah.
These poor fucking animals. I didn't think about the animals at all. I didn't think about, again, we're a landlocked fucking state that has winter.
I didn't think about the treatment of animals either, dude. But at some point, it had to get bad because they had otters jumping around the stadium with like Pepsi cans and shit. I'm like, they must have been whipping them or something. They had like,
I'm sure it's like the circus. It's like what you hear about now. It looks fun because they train them to, but you don't want to know how they trained them to.
Dude, yeah. These are like 30-minute shows. Like they did a lot with these freaking animals, man.
Yeah.
But, it was bad. It was bad, so it got shut down.
But, all right. Well, I think we should wrap it up.
Yeah, I feel bad without Rob.
Yeah.
Like we can't
Some of our listeners are like, what the fuck?
It's like, we can't have fun without Rob.
Rob had to go pick up his Pizza Hut so he could go home and watch TNT with Pizza Hut.
So we're doing Green Lantern next week then?
Yeah, Sinestro Corps War is what it is called. Like I said, I'll get you the actual details.
Okay, and you've only read one issue so far.
I haven't even read a whole issue. I've read like half an issue.
Has it caught you at all, or is that why you suggested it? Or
no, the artwork is nice.
It's Street Fighter.
The artwork's nice. No. It's better than like video game tie-in stuff. I don't want to say that. It's just more DC. Aside, even Batman is guilty of it, and this is one of those things that is just, it's my quirk. It's harder to get into the really dramatic stuff without really caring about the core characters immediately. So this is already starting off with, Sinestro's evil plan or whatever, and that's fine. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that. It's just like that's my own personal thing. Is I don't know. I think I'd kind of rather spend a little bit of time doing some other stuff. But again, I've read half an issue, so I can't. This story could get really good. I looked at a list of like recommended Green Lantern stories, and I picked this one off that list basically as being one of them. I was like, okay, this sounds the most interesting. Plus, it's kind of more modern. So we'll check this one out basically.
All right, I'm down. I like Green Lantern. He seems cool.
He's hip. He's cool.
When do I get to pick a comic?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know when we'll allow that. I don't know if I'm ready for that. I don't know if I'll ever be ready for that. Let Steve take control of the show.
I'm like, here's Frozen.
Golden Age Flash.
It's like Frozen, the comic.
Right? God damn it, Steve.
It's like, I bought this for my daughter, but I read it. It was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One day. All
right.
I feel like there's so much other stuff I want to cover first.
Rob
Maybe we'll do a surprise.
I'm glad you picked DC because Rob is he's been wanting to
do that for Rob. I know he can't touch that DC app until I tell him to. So that's the only way. He has no access until I give him permission. So
I did that for a while too, man. I was like, I can't read anything unless Shawn says it, and I'm like, wait a minute, there's a million comics.
So much, and I don't care, dude. Even if you read something before I pick it, great.
Yeah,
that's fantastic. I don't fucking care.
Well, I'm not really worried either because all the shit that I really like, I know you wouldn't like.
Well, that's the thing, and that's what's cool too. Is like that's what I mean. Aside from even if you were worried about reading something that I was going to pick, the fact of the matter is we have such different tastes, and there's so much material out there. Mm-hmm. The chances of that are pretty slim.
Yeah,
Yeah. So, but please just read any comics. I don't fucking care.
Yeah, it was like, dude, I was telling you, man, I'm starting to read so much, like I'm picking up a fucking comic before I'm turning on the TV, I was like, I had to stop. I'm like, what is happening? I had to take a moment and, get outside myself and look at myself. I'm like, what are you doing, dude? You're supposed to be watching fucking The Flash on CW. What are you doing?
Must be watching this NBA or whatever the fuck. Man, comics where it's at. Stories.
Yeah, read a comic, people. It's not just me. It could happen to you too if you're listening.
There you go.
All right, let's wrap it up.
All right.
How do we sign off on video? Can I give you the middle finger?
Just however you want to do it. That makes you feel good. We'll do that. That's so mean and unnecessary. I don't know what I did to deserve it.
All right, people. Thanks for listening.
All right, later.